Good morning. Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Coming up in the next hour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend G20 Leaders Summit in Johannesburg. Focus on strengthening cooperation, advancing development priorities and ensuring a better future. Prime Minister Modi meets his Australian counterpart Albanese on the sidelines of the summit, pledges deeper cooperation to boost ties, also interacts with tech leaders and community members. Ukraine faces difficult choice as Trump demands acceptance of peace plan. Zalinski says will not betray national interest. COP30 host Brazil urges unity as climate summit drifts past its schedule, negotiations deadlocked over fossil fuels. In cricket, South Africa eye historic clean sweep as India chase series 11-inning win as they face up in second and final test in Guwahati. The G20 Leaders Summit will begin in South Africa's Johannesburg today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will attend the summit. He will present India's perspective in line with the vision of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam and the world is one family, one earth, one family, one future.
Will participate in G20 Summit. This summit is special because it is happening in Africa, on this continent for the first time. Prime Minister will present India's perspectives on the agenda that forms part of G20 Summit. He will also have several bilateral meetings on the sidelines.
South Africa has carried forward the outcomes from the previous G20 summits held in New Delhi and Rio de Janeiro, with solidarity, equality and sustainability being the theme of its presidency. It is the first G20 summit being held in Africa. During India's presidency of the G20 in 2023, the African Union had become a member of the G20. DD India correspondent Amritpal Singh tells us more about Prime Minister's engagement today at G20.
That's right. The Prime Minister shall be participating in the G20 summit, which opens today. President Cyril Ramaphosa, along with the leaders of the G20, shall be participating in the opening plenary. Prime Minister Modi is expected to make interventions. He's attending multiple sessions on economic growth, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, a session on disaster risk reduction, a session on how AI and technology and critical minerals in the areas of these, how they can the G20 and the world could work together. I think the Prime Minister's interventions will, of course, talk about specific areas of cooperation in new technologies, in critical minerals, in reducing poverty. But the central theme of the Prime Minister's intervention would be to see that how the world can work together. As he said in his departure statement, he will share his perspective, India's perspective on the developments in the world and what is the way forward. He would be carrying the message of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, one Earth, one family, one future. The Prime Minister also would hold bilateral meetings with world leaders. He could meet the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. In fact, he's already yesterday held a meeting with the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. He's expected to meet more leaders on the sidelines of the G20 summit. He'll also be meeting the leaders of IPSA, that's India, Brazil, South Africa. There will be a summit meeting of the three leaders on the sidelines of the G20.
The two-day G20 summit will discuss issues such as development, climate crisis, global economic imbalances. We get you this comprehensive report on what's on agenda from India's perspective.
सबका साथ की भावना से ही भारत ने प्रस्ताव रखा था कि अफ्रीकन यूनियन को G20 की स्थायी सदस्यता दी जाए। मेरा विश्वास है कि इस प्रस्ताव पर हम सबकी सहमति है।
The African Union was admitted as a member at the G20 summit chaired by India in 2023. This is the first time the G20 summit is being held in an African country. Host country South Africa has stated its focus on strengthening an inclusive, just, and sustainable global architecture. Representatives from 42 countries and organizations are participating at various levels in this summit. It includes 20 of the 21 G20 members, 16 guest countries, and representatives from 6 regional and economic groups. The United States has declined to attend, so its seat will remain vacant. Currently, the G20 members are Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, the United Kingdom, the United States, the European Union, and the African Union. India placed the Global South at the center of the G20 summit held under its chairmanship. Following the same logic, this year's G20 summit has been divided into 3 major sessions, taking into account current circumstances. The first session will focus on issues such as inclusive and sustainable economic growth, trade, development, finance, and debt burden. The second session is on a resilient world, where they'll discuss disaster risk management, climate change, a just energy transition, and food systems. And the third session on a just future for all. That will include critical minerals, decent employment, and artificial intelligence. It is understood that the summit participants will present their proposals around these issues.
This is the first G20 summit that will be happening on African soil, and in that context will bring the spotlight on the development issues of Africa as also of the Global South.
Several reports will be presented to the leaders before the summit. There will be reports on global inequality, expert panels on Africa, and a review of the G20's 20th anniversary. In addition, several high-level meetings will be held: the Global Fund Replenishment Discussion, the Renewable Energy Pledge Forum, events related to the Compact with Africa, and a special session with the heads of African countries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will meet several world leaders separately on this occasion. He'll also participate in the summit meeting of IPSA, or the India, Brazil, and South Africa.
On the margins of G20 summit, PM will be participating in the IPSA, India, Brazil, South Africa leaders meeting, as well as holding bilateral meeting with several leaders who will be present in Johannesburg.
So far, 130 of the 133 G20 meetings have been held. The final phase is underway at the Sherpa level meeting, where efforts are being made to reach consensus on the leaders' declaration. The Global South is certainly being discussed prominently, with Africa in particular at the center. Bureau Report, DD India.
Earlier on Friday, Prime Minister Modi held a meeting with his Australian counterpart, Anthony Albanese. This year, the strategic partnership between the two nations completes 5 years. These years have witnessed transformative outcomes that have deepened the cooperation. During the talks, the two leaders emphasized 3 key sectors: defense and security, nuclear energy, and trade, where there is immense potential for ties to grow further. The other sectors discussed included education, cultural exchanges, and more. Both leaders also reaffirmed their shared commitment to strengthen the global fight against terrorism. And Prime Minister also interacted with Indian origin tech entrepreneurs in Johannesburg. They talked about the work they're doing in sectors such as fintech, social media platforms, agriculture, education, healthcare, medical devices, and more. PM called upon tech leaders to deepen their engagement with India and work closely with the people. PM Modi also interacted with members of the Indian community based in South Africa who are actively working with different community organizations. They shared their experiences on various issues and were very appreciative of India's strides across different fields. Prime Minister urged them to keep up the momentum with which they are enhancing people-to-people linkages. He also asked them to boost the popularity of Indian culture among people of South Africa, including practices such as yoga, Ayurveda, and urging more people from South Africa to take part in Bharat Ko Janiye or Know India quiz. During the interaction, Prime Minister received a kalash from Chinmay Mission, consisting of Sri Anna or millets from India as well as South Africa. This will be placed in Annapurna Devi Temple in Durban, South Africa. Prime Minister Modi began the Johannesburg visit by interacting with members of Naspers Group, including Chairman Koos Bekker, CEO Fabricio Bloisi, deepening investment linkages in India's digital ecosystem. AI, startup and space sectors featured prominently in the discussions. It is commendable how Naspers is actively working with talented youth across diverse sectors. Naspers' success in India reflects the ease of doing business and the strength of startup ecosystem in the country. And Naspers Group is aiming to double its investment in India. Chairman Koos Bekker lauded Prime Minister Modi's vision in the field of AI. CEO Fabricio added that Naspers is investing in new startups in India. DD India's Amritpal Singh gets us more from Johannesburg.
In Johannesburg, Prime Minister met the chairman and the CEO of Naspers Group. Naspers Group's already invested in India, but they're looking at doubling this investment. I have with me the chairman of the Naspers Group. So, in your meeting with the Prime Minister, what transpired, and where do you think is especially AI going, and what role do you see India playing in that?
The first thing that struck me is how well informed your Prime Minister is. Many politicians don't have an idea of technology, and we talked artificial intelligence and the application to different sectors in India, and he's really well informed, he understands it. So we explored which areas might be most interesting for India, because AI will create jobs, but it also destroy jobs, so you have to think about the total effect on the economy. And he directed us to certain areas where he thinks it will be best.
What specific areas did you discuss with the Prime Minister?
We've been investing more than 80,000 crores in India over the last years, and we really want to double that. We are investing in many startups. We have many of the most interesting technology companies in India, as Swiggy, as Meesho, as Urban Company, and many more. And our big focus is AI, and we are going to keep investing in AI in e-commerce, in improving the quality of services to the whole population, in health, in connecting farmers and producers of products in India, not only to sell in India, but to sell to the world. Using our technology, using our global reach together, the capabilities of India to innovate and to produce, I'm sure we are going to have a great future together.
So given India's talent pool when it comes to technology or IT, now groups like Naspers are looking at partnering with India, doubling their investment. They already have significant investment in India, as the CEO was saying, but they're now looking at doubling, especially in technology and artificial intelligence. With cameraman Mohit Joshi, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in Johannesburg.
Upon arrival in Johannesburg, Prime Minister Modi was accorded a traditional welcome at the hotel. Children sang a special Prathana, Shanti Mantra and other divine prayers. Prime Minister said such moments reaffirm the enduring bonds between our people. Also, members of Indian community showcase folk dances from 11 states of India during a short cultural program aptly titled Rhythms of a United India. Prime Minister said it is commendable how the Indian community has remained connected with its roots. He also noted how Indian diaspora in South Africa is very happy with India's decision of extending Overseas Citizenship of India or OCI facility up to 7th generation persons of Indian origin in South Africa. Earlier, it was only available up to 4th generation. PM Modi said this strengthens our enduring linkages with dynamic Indian community in South Africa. Prime Minister also witnessed a performance of South African Girmitia song Ganga Maiya in Johannesburg. Special part of this performance was the rendition in Tamil. Prime Minister said that the song carries unbroken spirit of those who came to South Africa many years ago. He added that they kept India alive in their hearts through the songs and prayers. And DD India's Amritpal Singh had a special conversation with the Indian origin lady, Kumari Ambike, who sang the Bhojpuri song in front of Prime Minister.
I have with me Kumari Ambike. She sang a song. She's a fifth generation Indian, but now a South African citizen. She sang when the Prime Minister arrived here in Johannesburg. She recited a song, an ode to a river Ganga or Ganga Maiya in Bhojpuri. This is a tradition which was brought here 7 generations ago. First of all, tell us what drives you to keep the tradition alive?
If in South Africa, if you're a citizen of South Africa, especially of Indian origin, if you lose your identity, culture and language, you've got nothing to live for. So this is why our ancestors, they struggled to keep this alive. And it came from my grandparents and my parents and now me.
So could you tell us more about the ode that you sang to Ganga Maiya or Ganga Ma in Bhojpuri today?
Well, this song was originally brought by our ancestors to South Africa. That was 7 generations ago. And up till this day, they made it so popular that everybody, I'm a singer, part singer, so I translated it in Tamil.
In Tamil?
Yes.
Could you sing what you sang for the Prime Minister? Could you sing a bit of it for us?
Puja Pannavarane Gangayamma, Puja Pannavarane Gangayamma. The Hindi version, the Bhojpuri style is Pujana Ham Ayire Ganga Maiya, Pujana Ham Ayire.
I saw you have a little chit-chat with the Prime Minister. What transpired there? Tell us that.
Oh, on behalf of all the South Africans of Indian origin, I thought it was my duty to thank him for extending the OCI cards to the 7th generation here in South Africa, and that's a blessing. So that's why I personally thought I could thank him for it.
What about him is that attracts people like you who've migrated, say, you know, you were born here 7 generations ago, your ancestors migrated. What about him that enthuses the diaspora?
We connect with him because he's spiritually a person that is amazing. We love him so much. And he's like a big father to us all, you know, and he connects so well to even the smallest person, you could say. And this is why he's a man and a half, for as I am concerned. And I want to bless him and give him all the best in the future.
It is what India is trying to build upon and use that soft power as a leverage to pursue its interests in the global arena, as well as to take care of people of Indian origin around the world. With cameraman Sanjay Jaina, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in Johannesburg.
Prime Minister had a special interaction with the Indian diaspora. DD India's Amritpal later spoke with them and they shared their experience.
Oh, the diaspora here in South Africa was very excited to meet the Prime Minister. Many of them were general people who live here, who've been living here for generations. Some of them are new immigrants. It was a cross-section of the diaspora that interacted with the Prime Minister when he arrived here on Friday evening. You know, of the diaspora that I spoke to, many of them were excited because they could see the Prime Minister up close. Many of them, you know, one man was carrying a picture of his little child who was then 6 months old when the Prime Minister had last visited Johannesburg in 2023 for the BRICS summit. He also met with tech entrepreneurs. He met with community leaders of the tech entrepreneurs that I spoke with. You know, many of them told me that they were impressed by the Prime Minister's knowledge of new technologies, AI, and his enthusiasm on how India could connect with them and they could be a part of the Indian growth story. They said They didn't feel like they were talking to a politician. It was more like they were talking to a tech entrepreneur. Many of them who had migrated generations ago. One lady I met, her ancestors came 7 generations ago. So, they still feel that connect with India, and they say when you meet the Prime Minister up close, the leader of the nation, there is bound to be excitement in them.
Shifting focus on some other news, Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday welcomed US peace plan, said the plan could lay the foundation for Ukraine peace deal, confirming for the first time that Moscow had received a copy from the United States. Putin, in televised comments, said he believes that it can be used as the basis of a final peaceful settlement, adding that the plan had not been discussed in detail with Russia. Putin also threatened to seize more territory if Kiev rejects the proposal, saying that the claimed recent capture of Ukrainian city Kupiansk.
We have this text. We received it through existing channels of communication with the US administration. I believe it can be used as a basic of a financial peaceful settlement, but it has not been discussed with us in detail, and I can guess why. The reason is the same. The US administration has so far failed to secure Ukraine's consent. Ukraine is against it.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pledged on Friday to work fast and constructively with the US on a peace plan to end the conflict with Russia. In a video statement, he urged Ukrainians to remain united in what he described as one of the most difficult moments in the country's history, adding that he would not betray his country's national interest.
Now it is one of the most difficult moments in our history. Now the pressure on Ukraine is one of the most difficult. Now Ukraine may find itself facing a very difficult choice, either the loss of dignity or the risk of losing a key partner, either the difficult 28 points or an extremely difficult winter, the most difficult, and for the risk, the national Ukrainian interest must be taken into account. We are not making loud statements. We will calmly work with America and all partners. There will be a constructive search for solutions with our main partner.
Earlier, President Zelensky had a phone call with US Vice President J.D. Vance that Ukraine would work with the United States and Europe at an advisor level to work towards a peace plan for his country's conflict with Russia. US President Trump said that Ukrainian President Zelensky will have to like a US plan to end the conflict with Russia. Speaking in the Oval Office, Trump said the approaching winter, the mounting death toll and repeated attacks on Ukrainian energy plants underscored the urgency of ending the conflict. Washington's 28-point plan calls on Ukraine to cede territory, accept limits on its military and renounce ambitions to join the NATO.
President Zelensky, about your plan?
I've spoken with their people. We have a plan. It's horrible what's happening. It's a war that should have never happened. It would have never happened if I was president, and it's a shame. And I thought they should have acted quicker. But it's a cold winter, and a lot of the you talk about utilities, but a lot of the big energy-producing plants have been under attack, to put it mildly, to put it nicely. Yeah, we have a way of getting peace, or we think we have a way of getting peace.
President Trump vowed on Friday that his administration would work with New York's incoming Democratic Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani to improve life of residents of the U.S. financial capital. The political opposites have clashed over everything from immigration to economic policy, but standing side by side at the Oval Office, the two men struck a surprisingly conciliatory tone. The men, two different generations of New Yorkers, announced nothing new on policy except what seemed to be the launch of an unexpected, politics-shifting professional friendship.
Thank you very much. We've just had a great meeting, a really good, very productive meeting. We have one thing in common. We want this city of ours that we love to do very well. And I wanted to congratulate the mayor. He really ran an incredible race against, a lot of smart people, starting with the early primaries against some very tough people, very smart people. And he beat them easily.
What I've shared with the president is our desire to not only follow the laws of our own city, laws that protect New Yorkers, but also a desire for consistency in our politics across the board. And that's something that we've talked about and something that I know many New Yorkers want.
As Mamdani surged in the polls to victory on November 4th, Trump issued threats to strip federal funding from New York City. Mamdani has regularly criticized Trump's promise to ramp up federal immigration enforcement efforts in a city where 4 in 10 residents are foreign-born. U.S. Republican lawmaker Marjorie Taylor Greene, a longtime ally of Donald Trump who recently had a dramatic falling out with the president, said on Friday she was resigning from the House of Representatives effective January 5th. Greene hit out at both Republicans and Democrats in a resignation video released. She also posted a lengthy resignation statement on social media. The dispute between Trump and the Georgia lawmaker has fueled concerns among some Republicans that Trump's Make America Great Again base could fracture a year before the midterm elections. Trump, who had dismissed the Epstein issue as a Democrat hoax, signed a bill this week to release the documents after it passed the House and the Senate with overwhelming support.
When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country, and instead the reality is that they, common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington, then I'll be here by their side to rebuild it. Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration issued a warning to major airlines on Friday over a potentially hazardous situation when flying over Venezuela, urged them to exercise caution. The FAA also alleged that Venezuelan military has advanced fighter jets and various weapon systems capable of reaching or surpassing the altitudes of civil aircraft. There is also a potential low-altitude threat from air defense systems and anti-aircraft artillery. In recent months, Washington had sent an aircraft carrier strike group, other Navy warships, as well as stealth aircraft to the region. Deployments, it says, are aimed at curbing drug trafficking, but which have sparked fears in Caracas that regime change is the goal. Notably, U.S. passenger or cargo carriers have not operated direct flights to Venezuela since 2019, though some U.S. airlines fly over the country during flights to South America. On Friday, American Airlines announced it had stopped overflying Venezuela in October. Meanwhile, Delta Airlines mentioned it had stopped flying over Venezuela some time ago. Colombia made its largest cocaine bust in a decade, authorities informed on Friday, with 14 tons confiscated at main Pacific port amid tensions with Washington, which has branded Bogota's anti-drug policies insufficient. The seizure is the world's largest cocaine-producing country, comes as the White House threatens President Gustavo Petro with financial sanctions and Colombia's removal from the list of allies in the war on drugs. Although Petro considers Trump's sanctions unfair, claims that the record seizures have been made under his government. Former Peruvian President Pedro Castillo has rejected charges of rebellion and conspiracy as his trial enters its final stage. Castillo told judges the case was designed to destroy his reputation and insisted he never attempted a coup. He was arrested in 2022 after announcing plans to dissolve Congress and rule by decree, prompting prosecutors to seek a 34-year sentence. His lawyer argued that there is no evidence of rebellion or conspiracy and called for an acquittal. Outside the police complex where the trial is held, supporters gathered, calling Castillo a political prisoner.
Como un presidente de la República secuestrado.
I am not here to ask for clemency or sympathy. I am here to demand justice. You are judging a political man, a president of the Republic, and behind you there is a family. You are academics, you are magistrates, you are teaching what law is. But I am also sure that your environment or those who follow you also face a situation where history will judge us do the right thing.
In other news, COP30 faces a showdown after the latest draft dropped all references to phasing out fossil fuels, triggering strong objections from many countries. The new COP30 draft, released in Brazil, removes all fossil fuel language, dropping earlier options for a transition plan. Over 30 countries have opposed the draft, demanding a roadmap to move away from fossil fuels. Panama and Chile criticized the text, saying it ignores science and fails to act on rising emissions. The draft seeks to triple adaptation finance by 2030, does not specify funding sources. Saudi Arabia and other oil producers are opposing a fossil fuel roadmap, while nations like France, Germany, Mexico, Spain and South Korea insist the current draft cannot be accepted.
Who decides that is not me, it's the countries. So it's a party-driven process, and this presidency wants the countries to bring the solution. And I am not going to decide for the country.
Footage shot by astronaut Zena Cardman, commander of NASA's SpaceX Crew 11 mission, released on Monday, a dazzling display of northern lights as seen from the International Space Station. These lights are called Aurora Borealis, or northern lights in the northern hemisphere, or Aurora Australis, or the southern lights in the southern hemisphere. Auroras have been more frequent recently because the sun is at the peak of the 11-year activity cycle known as solar maximum, when its magnetic poles flip and solar activity intensifies. The current cycle peak began around last year and is expected to last through the end of this year, offering more frequent and vivid auroral displays. Still to come on DD India Newshour. India implements the historic labour codes. Celebration of cinema and creativity at IFI Goa. Benares Hindu University hosts a special painting exhibition on Kashi. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Our top stories. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend G20 Leaders Summit in Johannesburg, focus on strengthening cooperation, advancing development priorities and ensuring a better future for the world. Prime Minister Modi meets his Australian counterpart Albanese on the sidelines of the summit, pledges deeper cooperation to boost ties, interacts with tech leaders and community members. Ukraine faces difficult choice as Trump demands acceptance of the peace plan. Zelensky says will not betray national interest. COP30 host Brazil urges unity as climate summit drifts past its schedule. Negotiations deadlocked over fossil fuels. India emphasized the need for stronger international cooperation for better protection of seafarers. Indian envoy to the United Nations, P. Harish, highlighted Indian Navy's role in Western Arabian Sea amid various threats. He said credible and swift actions of Indian Navy have saved more than 520 lives, irrespective of nationality.
Over the last 2 years, in response to shipping attacks and rising incidents of piracy in the Western Arabian Sea, the Indian Navy has deployed over 35 ships in the region, carried out more than 1,000 boarding operations, and has responded to over 35 incidents. The credible and swift actions of the Indian Navy have saved more than 520 lives, irrespective of nationality.
At the UN meet, he also underscored India's Sagar Mein Samman initiative under Maritime India Vision 2030 to promote gender-sensitive safety standards, improved accommodation, sanitation on board, zero tolerance for harassment, and integration of gender considerations into safety management and audit processes. In a historic move, the central government on Friday implemented 4 labour codes: the Code on Wages, Industrial Relations Code, Code on Social Security, and Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code have been implemented from 21st November. With the implementation of these codes, 29 outdated labour laws have been transformed into simple, modern and integrated framework. The government claimed that these reforms will prove to be a transformative step towards providing better wages, safety, social security, modern working conditions to India's workers. The Modi government at the centre has taken a historic decision, rationalising 29 existing labour laws with 4 new labour codes. This is considered a step that will bring a historic revolution in the lives of more than 400 million workers in India. Prime Minister Modi, while giving information on social media X, writes, Shramev Jayate, today our government has given effect to the 4 labour codes. It is one of the most comprehensive and progressive labour-oriented reforms since independence. It greatly empowers our workers. It also significantly simplifies compliance and promotes ease of doing business. These codes will serve as a strong foundation for universal social security, minimum and timely payment of wages, safe workplaces and remunerative opportunities for our people, especially Nari Shakti and Yuva Shakti. It will build a future-ready ecosystem that protects the rights of workers and strengthens India's economic growth. These reforms will boost job creation, drive productivity and accelerate our journey towards a Viksit Bharat. Union Labour and Employment Minister Mansukh Mandavia wrote on social media, Modi government's guarantee respect for every worker. From today, new labour codes have come into effect across the country, ensuring guarantee of minimum wages on time for all workers, guarantee of appointment letters for the youth, guarantee of equal pay and respect for women, guarantee of social security for 40 crore workers, guarantee of gratuity for fixed-term employees after 1 year, free annual health checkups for workers above 40 years of age, double wages for overtime work, 100% health security for workers in hazardous sectors, and social justice for workers in line with international standards. This reform is not just a change but a historic decision taken by Prime Minister Modi for the welfare of labour heroes. These new labour reforms are an important step towards Atmanirbhar Bharat and will provide new momentum to the goal of Viksit Bharat 2047. This historic decision by the government is being widely welcomed. The Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh has called it a commendable step. The demand for changes to decades-old labour laws since independence has been simmering for a long time. The decision will impact millions of workers across the country. The implementation of 4 labour codes is considered the biggest reform in the labour sector. The government has also clarified that extensive consultations will be held with all stakeholders during the formulation of the regulations. Bureau Report, DD India. And the latest now on the Tejas fighter jet crash. A court of inquiry is being constituted to ascertain the cause of the accident in which the pilot of the fighter jet of Indian Air Force was killed. The incident occurred on Friday after the indigenous multi-role light combat aircraft crashed around 2:10 p.m. IST during a demonstration at Dubai Air Show. The pilot has been identified as 37-year-old Wing Commander Naman Sayal, a resident of Patialakar in Kanga district of Himachal Pradesh. Moving on, today is the day 3 of the 56th edition of International Film Festival of India, IFFI, where the red carpet is set to roll for many international films. From masterclasses to daily premieres, the day will also witness the second day of IFFIesta to keep the guest entertained throughout the festival. Along with this, the 48-hour Creative Minds of Tomorrow challenge is also on, where young minds are flexing their creative skills to bring out the best. And for more from Goa, DD India correspondent Deepika joins us from IFFI. Deepika, good morning. Could you take us through the highlights of the day at IFFI? What films will the visitors be treated to?
Good morning, Shubhendu. Well, there are more than 300 films which are on the go at different locations here across Goa. One is at the Waves Film Bazaar, the other is at the Inox Panjim, and apart from that, we have a different venue at Kala Academy as well, where multiple screenings are happening along with the master classes. So when we talk about the variety of films which are being screened, to begin with the film called How to Talk Australians, it is a film which has been made in collaboration with India and Australia, and is also a classic example of how AI, artificial intelligence, can be used in filmmaking as well as co-production. The film is currently being premiered in an exclusive premiere category here at the Film Bazaar venue, and apart from that, there are different red carpets which are currently on at Inox as well. That also includes Tanvi the Great, the Anupam Kher's movie, which is being premiered here at the 56th edition of IFFI, and the cast will walk the red carpet at around 12:30 p.m. So likewise, there are so many stars who are lined up for throughout the day, who are going to walk the red carpet straight from Australia to the United States to India, and of course there is a special focus on the regional content as well, with special stalls designated to Marathi, to Malayali, to Tamil, to Telugu, and as we know that N. Balakrishna, being the Telugu star, was felicitated at the opening ceremony of the 56th edition, and likewise there will be a different felicitation ceremony at the closing ceremony as well, where Rajnikant will be felicitated. So overall, the aim of the 56th edition of International Film Festival of India is to bring together everybody, straight from the regional factor to the international factor, going beyond the boundaries, under one single roof here, Shubhendu.
Right, and every year there is much excitement around opportunities for new budding filmmakers at the festival. What does this year look like?
Along with the Waves Film Bazaar, which was formerly known as the Film Bazaar itself, there is an integration with Waves, which is the World Audiovisual Summit, which saw its first ever summit being held in Mumbai as well. Now, what Waves Film Bazaar is currently doing is giving an opportunity to not only the young minds by showcasing their stalls, by integrating technology and innovation, because IFFI is something that is an example of integration of technology and creativity. So here, young minds, young people, young filmmakers are being given an opportunity to showcase their filmmaking skills through the Creative Minds of Tomorrow 48-hour challenge. So today 24 hours have already gone, and the rest of the 24 hours are left for more than 130 students to complete their film. Now these films will be screened by the experts themselves, and they will be awarded accordingly, and apart from that, their films will also be premiered at the various venues which are designated for film premieres here in Goa. So this is just an example of how young minds are being given an opportunity. Apart from that, when we talk about the integration of filmmakers and different stakeholders, right from the budding level to the experience level, all of them are getting an opportunity to showcase their films, to showcase their whatever they can bring on the table with India at IFFI Bazaar, at the Film Bazaar as well, because this is for the first time that IFFI will witness India's first ever AI film festival as well. So there are an array of opportunities which is being offered to various stakeholders, right from the regional level to the international level, at this 56th edition of IFFI, making it one spot for the entire globe, for the entire film industry to unite under the banner of International Film Festival of India here in Goa.
Lots to look forward to at IFFI Goa. Deepika, thank you for joining us with those updates. And let's now take a look at other stories making news today. The 78th All India Textile Conference began in Coimbatore, highlighting global opportunities in the textile sector. The event opened with presentation of Industrial Excellence Awards and the release of conference souvenir. The two-day conference will today continue with expert sessions and panel discussions. State-of-the-art digital smart classroom inaugurated at a school in Banihal, Jammu and Kashmir. as part of efforts to modernize education in the region. Additionally, funds have also been allocated to upgrade schools and introduce digital learning tools across constituency to support local education development. In Chhattisgarh's Dantewada, a new youth hub initiative has been launched to connect local young people with entrepreneurship opportunities. The program aims to provide guidance, skill development and support, help youth explore business and career prospects. The initiative is part of ongoing efforts to empower and engage the region's younger population. In Jammu and Kashmir's village Jangir, JNK LG Manoj Sinha laid the foundation stone for new houses for families affected by natural calamities and Pakistani shelling under Operation Sindoor. He said an NGO has partnered with the administration to build 1,500 houses across Jammu and Kashmir. Work has begun on 388 houses in Rajouri to be completed in 6 months. A 5-day painting exhibition has been organized at Faculty of Visual Arts of Banaras Hindu University. On one hand, it aims to carry forward the Guru Shishya tradition, the teacher-disciple tradition, while on the other, keeping with the theme, Arup Roop, the exhibition showcases various forms of Kashi and Lord Shiv. Still to come on DD India Newshour. Eli Lilly becomes first drug maker to cross $1 trillion valuation mark. Action unfolds on day 2 of the first Ashes test in Perth. And we get you glimpses of stunning light and sound show at the renowned Konark Sun Temple, Odisha.
India did not agree that Hindus and Muslims could not live together. This was a birth of a country or two countries, but it was a birth that was also an abortion, because you were literally killing this country that was being born at that point. Every time a Muslim came to prominence in India, President of India, Chief Justice of India, cricket captains, whatever, it was a standing rebuke of the very Pakistani idea. If a Muslim could achieve all this in India, then why did Pakistan need to be created?
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Eli Lilly has become the first drug maker to cross the $1 trillion valuation mark, driven by surging global demand for weight loss medications. The company's stock has jumped more than 35% this year, propelled by the runaway success of its obesity and diabetes portfolio. Lilly now boasts over $10 billion in quarterly revenue from these drugs alone, accounting for more than half its total earnings. Analysts say investors are betting big on upcoming launches, including its oral obesity drug expected early next year. The company is also set to benefit from production boosting deal with Trump administration, despite potential near-term pricing pressure. You're watching DD India Newshour. Time now for all the action from sports. South Africa skipper Themba Bavuma won the toss, opted to bat first against India in the second and final test of the series in Guwahati. Rishabh Pant, who became the 38th Test captain for India, remained optimistic despite losing the toss, stating that his side would be eager to bowl first. In the absence of their regular skipper Shubman Gill, India have included Nitish Kumar Reddy in the playing 11. Apart from him, all-rounder Akshar Patel has also been replaced by batter Sai Sudarshan. On the other hand, South Africa bench Corbin Bosch, replacing him with Senuran Muthusamy, Ryan Rickelton and Aiden Makaram have laid the foundation early for South Africa as they stitched a partnership beyond 70 runs for no loss till the reports last came in. And for more on this match, joining me is DD India correspondent Narayan Singh from Delhi. Narayan, good morning. How do you see the two teams stack up in this final test?
Shubhendu, good morning. If we talk about this match, India has made two changes, and because Shubman Gill is injured, and that's why they bought again the Sai Sudarshan, and also Akshar Patel. We can say that he is not in the squad, and they bought Nitish Kumar Reddy because actually there are too many left-hander batters in the Indian squad right now, and so to make that left-hand right-hand combination, they bought Nitish Kumar Reddy in that sense. But here I think the way India is not up to the mark with their planning. If you take the last match, they bought Washington Sundar at the number 3, and in previous match, Sai Sudarshan was not part of the team, despite of the fact that he performed well in the previous Test match against West Indies when India hosted West Indies in a 2-match series. In the second match, he played fantastic knock in Delhi. So I think too much changing, too much chopping, it also dents the confidence of the player. And we know that in the previous match, what really happened. And actually, the pitch that was not behaving well, there was uneven bounce. And India lost to South Africa that match. And we know that the importance of that match because India was on the verge of win. And we were writing headlines. And we also saw headlines all over the social media, and all the media houses are saying that India smells victory and inching close to a victory against South Africa. But next very day, South Africa just managed to win that very closely, we can say that a closely contested match in that sense because wicket fell too early in that match. Here, I think India should take a lesson from that, that right now, the pitches that made the team India actually, they are practicing on the pitches who suits to batting conditions. And suddenly a pitch like the center pitch of the Eden Garden came in front of them. That was really helping the spinners. And because of that, we are practicing on a different pitches. We are playing on, even in the international matches, if you take a look, we are playing on the batting pitches. And suddenly one day a pitch like the Eden Garden pitch comes in front of them. And suddenly the things like that happen. And same exactly that thing happened in the series against New Zealand when India first time got whitewashed in a 3-match series by an overseas country. So definitely many learning lessons India can take from that. And here today we are hoping that South Africa started up on a fantastic note, still more than 70 runs and no wicket. And hopefully if they are scoring 100 runs in the first session without a loss, it will be, we can say that in the session will be in South Africa's favor. And all in all, here we need some fantastic cricket and a fantastic fielding too. Also today, Adian Markram, we saw that KL Rahul missed a sitter of him. So definitely these things will not work in favor of India. And most importantly, India, if we talk about losing the two test match series consecutively, it happened 4 decades ago. And India and South Africa last time won a series against India was 25 years back. So India will not like to repeat that thing here, and they will go ahead.
Let's wait and watch how this match pans out. Narayan, thank you for those inputs. England wrapped up Australian innings on 132 runs on the second morning of the opening test of the Ashes series in Perth on Saturday, taking a handy lead of 40 runs. Ben Stokes inspired England's comeback with a 5-wicket haul on day 1. Bryden Cast took 3, while Jofra Archer took 2 wickets. Australia resumed on 123 for 9 after 19 wickets fell on an explosive first day when England were all out for 172. England are currently going strong, stretching the lead beyond 110 runs till the reports last came in. And the launch of the Light and Sound show adds a fresh chapter to the Konark Sun Temple, giving visitors a vivid look at the history and culture. Enhanced seating, modern projection now makes the experience more engaging for travellers. The UNESCO World Heritage Site continues to draw visitors with its stunning architecture and rich heritage. stunning visuals. But that's all in this edition of DD India Newshour. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan this QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Newshour. Namaskar.